Πολλοί ίσως να θυμούνται την τηλεοπτική σειρά επιστημονικής φαντασίας Star Trek. Οι νεότερες γενιές σίγουρα θα έχουν παρακολουθήσει κάποια επεισόδια της σειράς που άφησε εποχή σε όλες τις τηλεοράσεις του κόσμου. Η πρωταγωνίστρια της σειράς, η Νταϊάννα Τρόι, είναι Ελληνίδα και λέγεται Marina Sirtis.
Troy and I were totally different. But she was here and I was there. Η ζωή μου άλλαξε. Δεν έχει τίποτα το ίδιο. Έχει αλλάξει στα πάντα. Εγώ όταν βρήκα τη δουλειά, δούλευα σε ένα κατάστημα, έπαιρνα $5 την ώρα. Μόλις πήρα τη δουλειά, χρειαζόμουν ανθρώπους να μου κοιτάνε τα λεφτά μου, ξέρω εγώ, publicist, δεν ξέρω πώς θα λένε στα ελληνικά. Όλοι χτυπάγανε την πόρτα μου να δουλεύουν μαζί μου. Αγόρασα σπίτι, αγόρασα πιο ωραίο αυτοκίνητο. Η δουλειά αυτή μου άλλαξε τη ζωή. Ήταν φανταστικό. Εγώ γεννήθηκα στην Αγγλία, στο Λονδίνο, αλλά οι γονείς μου είναι και οι δύο Έλληνες. Η μητέρα μου είναι από τη Χίο και ο πατέρας μου ήταν από την Αθήνα. Και με μεγαλώσανε σαν Ελληνίδα στην Αγγλία. Ήρθα πριν 10 χρόνια εδώ, γιατί βαρέθηκα. Στην Αγγλία ήταν πολύ δύσκολο για μένα. Και μια φίλη μου είπε, πήγαινε στην Αμερική, γιατί οι Αμερικάνοι, ποιος είναι Αμερικάνος? Οι Ινδοί, πώς το λένε, να μου συγχωρείς τα ελληνικά, έτσι. Όλοι είναι από κάπου αλλού. Από την Ιταλία, από την Ισπανία, από το Μεξικό. Και ήρθα. Και σε 6 μήνες βρήκα αυτή τη δουλειά.
It's a primitive culture. I'm just trying to blend in.
You're blended already.
I already told him our cover story. He didn't believe me.
We are running out of time. Now if we tell it...
How'd you do that?
It's your telescope.
That's our ship, the Enterprise.
When I was cast as Troy, I didn't know what to do with the character because she was an empath and psychic. And so I thought that after 2 or 3 episodes that would get really boring because she would know what was happening and there would be no stories. And after she felt pain, she felt grief, she felt anger, everything she felt. After 2 or 3 episodes, it was all gone. So I decided to concentrate on the fact that she was a psychologist. And so I got a magazine that they have in America called Psychology Today, and I used to get that every week and read about psychology. And I knew some psychologists, so I would ask them how they do what they do. And I realized that psychology, it's not very hard to be a psychologist because when you tell them something and you ask them a question, they say, what do you think? And so basically all you have to do is be a very good listener. Troy is a part of me that I don't show to the world because she's she's soft. She's very nice person. She's not hard, δεν είναι σκληρή. And I think I was afraid to show that side of Marina to the world because then you can get hurt.
9, 8, 7,
Rock and roll!
6.
Defiance losing life support.
Bridge to transporter room 3. Beam the Defiant survivors aboard.
Captain, the Admiral's ship has been destroyed.
What is the status of the Bowl Cube?
It has sustained heavy damage to its outer hull. I am reading fluctuations in their power grid.
On screen.
The experience of where I worked, the actors that I worked with, the best actors I've ever worked with, they're still my best friends. And the atmosphere was very unusual, I think, for Hollywood, whereas we all tried to help each other. There was no jealousy, there was no hypocrisy, there was no, stabbing in the back. Everyone tried to make the show the best show that it could be. And I think that showed on the screen, that we cared so much that this wasn't going to be like the first Star Trek. The first Star Trek, people sometimes think it's a bit of a joke, because the sets were made of cardboard and they used, look like they were made really cheap. And there was, it was done kind of tongue-in-cheek sometimes. It was more light-hearted. Our show was a serious show about serious issues. Every show was about something, whether it was drug addiction or racism or intolerance or whatever, issues there are in the world today. We did a story about it on Star Trek. I don't think it's arrogance that makes actors buy into or get seduced into that kind of life. I think it happens so gradually that they don't notice that it's happening, because it doesn't happen immediately. It doesn't happen like this. As they become more and more successful, it grows and it kind of creeps up on them. And I think as people, if you have a self-esteem in yourself and you know what you are as a person, you don't need the stuff from outside. It's like when it gets to the point where you need it, that's where it's dangerous, Sure, I like it when I go to a restaurant and they recognize me, or they recognize the name on the reservation and I get a good table. It's really cool. But it doesn't change who I am as a person.
Όταν πρώτο ήρθα στην Αμερική, νόμιζα ότι ήθελα να είμαι διάσημη και να είμαι πλούσια και να με ξέρει όλος ο κόσμος, να ξέρει το όνομά μου. Τώρα όμως νομίζω ότι έχω αλλάξει γνώμη για αυτά που θέλω. Θέλω να είμαι ευτυχισμένη, αλλά ακόμα το πρώτο πράγμα στη ζωή μου είναι η καριέρα μου. Αλλά θέλω να παίξω καλούς ρόλους. Θέλω να πάω πίσω στο θέατρο. Μου έλειψε πολύ. Πρόπερσι έπαιξα σε θέατρο στη Νιου Ιόρκ και βλέπω ότι έχει ρόλους που θέλω να τους παίξω. Τους κλασικούς ρόλους. Θέλω να παίξω την Αντιγόνη, θέλω να παίξω την Hedda Gabler, θέλω να παίξω σε Τσέκοφ και σε Ibsen και σε Shakespeare. Γιατί αυτά με τραβάνε. My opinion about America is, this is my opinion, okay? I'm not going to say this is the truth. But I believe that America is a very new country. America is 200 years old. And so I think Americans, the people in America, are searching for an identity. So they hook into things. It can be Scientology, it could be Buddhism, it can be Est. There is always something that they're looking for to give them an identity, because they don't have the history to give them an identity. I don't have that, because I feel British and I feel Greek. And both cultures are old, especially the Greek, that's very old. So I think that's why Americans, I don't think it's got anything to, I'm not saying they don't believe in Buddha, but I think it's just the trend of the moment. It's the flavor of the month, as they say in Hollywood, in America. There's always something new that they're looking for. They're looking for themselves, which I don't think we have in Europe. Έλληνας δεν μπορεί να ζήσει στην Los Angeles, γιατί δεν έχει νυχτερινή ζωή καθόλου. Γιατί είναι film town. Πώς το, είναι χώρα του film. Και όταν κάνεις film, ξυπνάς από τις 4 και 5 ώρα το πρωί. Εγώ ξύπναγα 4:30 ώρα το πρωί και ήμουν στη δουλειά στις 5:30. Πού θα πας? Εγώ είχα συνηθίσει να κοιμάμαι από τις 9:30-10 ώρα το βράδυ. Όταν πάω στην Αθήνα και μου λένε 11 ώρα το βράδυ, ντύ σου πάμε να φάμε, εγώ λέω τώρα εγώ πάω να κοιμηθώ. Πού πάμε να φάμε τώρα 11 ώρα το βράδυ? Είναι αλλιώτικη η ζωή. Είναι πιο ήσυχη. Ναι. Αλλά είναι γιατί όλο το Χολυγουντ είναι... είναι μόνο για να... Όλος ο κόσμος που έρχεται εδώ είναι για να βρει μεγαλύτερη επιτυχία στην καριέρα τους. Και δεν έχουν το μυαλό τους σε αυτό το δρόμο να πούνε ότι θα διασκεδάσω τη ζωή μου. Έχουν βάλει το μυαλό τους ότι έχω έρθει εδώ για να κάνω καλύτερη τη ζωή μου. I believe that I believe that people who think that we are alone, that we are the only cognitive beings in the universe are arrogant. I think I think that there has to be life somewhere else. There's too many planets, too much stuff out there for there not to be something else.